90% of Amazon sellers are leaving money on the table because of their product listing. In other words, you're basically giving the sale to your competitors instead of yourself if you do not have an optimized listing. Now, the way that I look at Amazon is it's a flywheel, and to be transparent and honest with you, it starts with your listing because the listing is realistically your 24/7 salesperson. So in other words, if you look at a sales process, you can look at your listing as the exact same thing. It needs to go from a cold call to a close. And what are those in between steps? And let me ask you, wouldn't you want your salesperson to be so damn good that it goes from just browsing, maybe even coming off of your listing, to shut up, take my money? Now, it took my brother and myself a lot of trial and error, literally months, if not years, of trying to crack the code on how to best display your product through your listing and to ensure that it's optimized for the algorithm. But once we cracked the code, our sales literally skyrocketed within a month. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing the 7 strategies that we learned and the best practices we did to make this happen. And the best part is they're super easy for any Amazon seller to implement themselves. If we think about a sales process, the first thing always is your cold call. When it comes to your Amazon listing, your cold call is your main image. Your first impression on potential buyers is literally everything for your success on Amazon. And that first impression is derived from that main image. If your main image doesn't grab the attention of your customer, within 2 seconds, you have lost the sale. So if we look at the Amazon platform, you go and you search up a term. You see now what we call a search engine results page that has literally 25 listings on every single page. You need to build enough value and you need to have a good enough first impression for them to want to click into your listing. So here are some tips to achieve that. Now, it's important to know that the first thing that you need to ensure is that you're not gonna have a good listing if you don't have a good product. A good product is gonna allow you to have not only a good main image, but also a good listing. That is the first step that you need to take care of. Now, one of the biggest keys that I can give you when it comes to your main image is ensuring that it takes up as much white space as possible. You want to take up every ounce of pixel space without diluting the actual product itself. On top of that, you want to make sure that it's high def, HD. And in order for you to know that it's high def and HD, when you go into the main image, it should blow up and it should pop up an even bigger image. If it doesn't, that means Amazon is not taking this as a high def image. Now, the biggest thing that you want to do, again, really goes back to your actual product. In other words, your offer. You want to make sure that you clearly display why your product is better. It's not just having as much white space filled as possible. It's not just having a high def photo. It's making sure that you really stand out. And one of the key ways for you to ensure that you stand out even before you launch is to utilize a split testing software called IntelliV. IntelliV is going to allow you to split test tons of variations of your main image against your competitors. And it's going to give you a statistical score to ensure that you are getting more clicks than your competitors. If you do this step right, trust me when I say this, you're going to have significantly more traffic than you had before. Now, one thing that you can do, now this is a little bit in a gray area, is what I'll mention because you typically can't actually have text on screen. But in order to get out of that, what you can do is include your product packaging in the back of the image. What this is gonna allow you to do is really tell Amazon that, hey, this is a part of my product. This is gonna allow you to include things like keywords, features, benefits, big bold points, and obviously add a little bit more color. So hopefully it encourages that additional click. This is low-key a hack for you to display more value compared to your competitors without going against terms of sale. Now, when your main image provides enough value to build a good first impression, they're gonna go ahead and click into your listing. Which leads me to the next portion that's so damn important, and here's why. 70% of buyers that purchase through any kind of e-commerce channel want an ease of sale. So predominantly, they're gonna look at your infographics. You have 7 images that you can add into your actual image carousel. These should display your features, your benefits. It should expand on your development points and your differentiation points, and it should speak to your customer. If you can do most of the selling through visual representations and through infographics, you better believe you're gonna have a customer look at those graphics and hit the buy now button. Now, one thing that I always tell my students is the biggest thing that you wanna do is put yourself in your customer's shoes. You need to ask yourself, what answers do they need in order to feel confident in purchasing my product? And even more so, if they don't get clear on what your offer is, the dimensions, the materials, the usage, the how-tos, if they don't know how to do this before purchasing the product, all they're gonna do is take advantage of Amazon's return policy and you're gonna get a buttload of returns. And that is the last thing you want as a new Amazon seller. Now, apart from your main image, the way that I want you to look at your carousel is that there's a cadence. They need to get that information. They need to know that this product is going to solve their problems. So the next 3 images, what I want you to do, 3 to 4 images should be very infographic based. It should answer all of those questions. Any kind of features, benefits, anything that they need a resolution to, you need to give them. And if they feel confident, where the next images, what you want to do is incorporate passive and active lifestyle images. In other words, you want to really put, again, your customers in the shoes of them actually using the product. By incorporating models and or lifestyle settings of the product actually in use, it will allow them to visually represent. We have seen conversion rates increase from as high as 10% just by optimizing your images. And some of our students see a 100% increase in their sales just by focusing on this one thing. In fact, if there's anything that you can take from this video, and if there's one thing that you can do in order to get the most out of your listing, it's to optimize your image carousel. And much like your main image, you can also split test different variations of each image in order to really get the best results. And with a good product means you have to have a good quality product. In other words, Amazon is a social proof driven market. If you have a bad quality product, you better believe you might get anywhere between a 1 to a 3 star, which could be detrimental to the success of your product launch and to the scaling of your product moving forward. Your social proof might be the dictating decision on if a customer is going to purchase your product. So ensure that you focus on getting reviews that are 4 and 5 stars early on in your launch. So let's talk about review strategy. And there's one saying that we always tell our students: you can't market a bad product. Nice looking images transparently aren't enough for you to build trust with a potential customer. And they're definitely not enough for you to build a strong brand reputation. And building a strong brand reputation and a brand, let alone on Amazon, is the key to succeeding in 2024 and beyond. Remember this: every review on your listing is a mini advertisement that's going to allow that potential customer to potentially buy. So not only do you need to line up reviews before you launch, you need to continuously ensure that you have a strategy in place to get reviews continuously as you scale your units. Here's our personal strategies in order to get them. Number 1 is building a pre-launch audience, creating social media posts, building some form of brand where you're putting content, reaching out to friends and family that can be a part of the community that will allow you to, number 1, help buy products on the front end so that they can then convert into reviews. Number 2, and I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but Amazon allows you to send a review request in as little as 3 days after a product is received in their hands. The best part is we can automate this directly through a lot of different tools such as Jungle Scout. Number 3, Amazon has a great program. This program has quality buyers that are invited directly by Amazon to get the product for free in exchange for an honest review. And when I say honest, they are very honest. And trust me when I say this again, if you have a bad quality product, they are going to roast you, and this could be detrimental to your success. So again, make sure that if you take advantage of this program, your product is quality and you're gonna have no issues. And the last and the final thing that I'll say is you wanna make sure that you have a good post-purchase strategy. What we like to do is create an insert cart that has some form of QR code that builds more of a customer experience with them. It gets them into a mailing list, gives them a warranty, gives them a discount on a future order. What that allows you to do is, again, have the opportunity for them to actually leave a review by being in contact with that specific person. Now, the last thing that I want to mention when it comes to review strategies, and one of the biggest mistakes that I personally see within the Amazon space as a brand new seller, is customer service. Yes, Amazon automates a lot of the things that they do for you. Refunds, a lot of messages, quality issues. There's so many things that they do for you, but if you're not doing your job to look at the bad reviews, look at your seller feedback, and take the opportunity to ensure that you give the best customer experience possible, you will fall behind with the amount of reviews that you'll get. As a rule of thumb, you want to be getting at least 5% from your orders. So if you sell 100 units, you should have at least 5 reviews. Even more so, the healthiest threshold and what's never going to trigger Amazon's algorithm is 10%. So if you're between that 5 to 10%, that's kind of where you want to be. And if you're not, take a step back and figure out what you can do to get up to that point. Now, all of the things that I have mentioned is what I like to call above the fold on your Amazon listing. Now, once you've done this and you have a good review strategy in place, you have to make sure that not only your images are optimized, but you want to make sure that you're optimized from a keyword standpoint as well. In other words, search engine optimization or SEO. If your buyers cannot find you on the Amazon platform, then it doesn't matter how good quality your product is. It doesn't matter how good your images are either. And it doesn't matter the reviews that you're gonna get because you probably won't get any at all. SEO is how you're gonna maximize a search engine. And that's exactly what Amazon is. And one of the biggest issues that I see when it comes to search engine optimization is people will go and optimize it the first time and they'll never optimize it again. In other words, they have a set it and forget it strategy. I like to use a software called Data Dive, which allows me to auto dive the keywords that are associated across my market on a monthly basis. This gives me any up and coming keywords. It gives me the loss in visibility on certain keywords as well. And I'm constantly optimizing my SEO on a monthly basis to ensure that I am putting my best foot forward to be seen on the Amazon platform. Now, to get your SEO on point, here is what you can do. Number one, you want to identify your relevant competitors. If you do this correctly and you identify the people that are relevant to your product and are already making money, this is half of the work because all we're going to do is take those keywords and pop them into our listing. You can do this with Helium 10, you can do this with Jungle Scout, but more importantly, you can do this with Data Dive and it's gonna make your life way easier. Now, this stage should be done, quite frankly, not only when you're launching, but also when you're finding your product, because what it's gonna help you identify are key differentiation points and development points that you can bring into your product that's gonna make them relevant. If you can identify those points, put them in your listing, you're gonna be optimized for those keywords in other words. Now, when it comes to the SEO of your listing and the weight of your title versus your bullet points versus your description, your title is gonna be right at the top here. You're gonna wanna include your most relevant and your highest volume keywords within your title. This is gonna give you the most visibility hands down. Now, the way that I personally look at my bullet points is it needs to be a mixture of sales conversion copy, but also needs to embed relevant keywords directly without sounding like gibberish. There's a fine line between keyword stuffing and making sure that they actually get value from reading your bullet points. Now, if you do this correctly, guys, this is going to allow you to take that good product and really make it visible to all of your customers that have search intent for the keywords that you want. And transparently, sometimes your images aren't gonna do enough selling. So one of the best ways that you can optimize your conversion rate is to add videos to your actual listing. And there's a lot of different videos that you can add. Because customers don't have that luxury of touching and feeling, potentially even using the product like they are in stores, we need to make it as easy as possible to really visualize them using the product. And what better representation is there of a video of a ideal customer persona actually using the product? And I'll leave it at this: show, don't tell. Because transparently, sometimes people just don't like to read. So you want to make sure that you're optimized for those people especially. Visuals are worth more than 1,000 words. And videos, like I said, convey a way better opportunity to display your product than images will any day. Now, like I said, there are many different opportunities for you to include videos on your listing, but I'm going to pop up one on screen here. You can see what we've done to really display how this product is used. Now, this video is gonna take up your 7th image in your carousel. Do not cheap out on this. Trust me when I say this, if you do your video right, it's gonna do a lot of selling for you. And even more so, you can then use that video and actually create pay-per-click advertisements with videos, which again is significantly more impactful than your regular keyword PPC strategies. The other videos that you can do is you can work with influencers to actually put product review videos directly onto your listing in your 7th image. You can also get customers to leave customer reviews that will show up in the related video section below. And any customer, even yourself, can go and upload any form of short form, long form content directly into the related video section towards the bottom of your listing above the review section. Now, the key points when developing videos for your customer is really just making sure that you have your ideal customer persona in there. You're going over the benefits, the features, especially the ones that are different than your competitors. You want to make sure that you have infographics and text on screen. And in my opinion, it should be extremely high quality and edited. Don't sleep on this. Spend the money in order to get this done. I like to use the FBAstudio.com to create our video content. Now, great visuals and copy are extremely important and in fact crucial in order for you to start telling your brand story. And if you want to create a real emotional connection, then make sure that your story isn't just fluff, because people don't just buy products, they buy into brands and the people behind those brands. So to make your Amazon listing really stand out, there's more to it than just adding info on your product specs, the details of what your product looks like, or lowering your price just so that you can compete with your competition in the first place. And if you want to get repeat customers that support you for a long time, you need a compelling narrative that really allow people to connect with your brand emotionally. Now, we've started to do this by really taking advantage of off-Amazon platforms, sharing our story, being transparent about what we've done with our brands, challenges that we're facing, customer reviews that we're getting, everything that you can simply imagine. Just be transparent and really pull them into the story. Let them be a part of your journey. So really, you want to keep this in mind when you develop your copy and your visuals for your branding, your product packaging, and all of your marketing material in between. Share your mission, your values in an authentic way, tell your story and show why your brand is unique amongst others, and ensure that you're building a product line that supports that same customer persona. Now, the best part is Amazon even gives you an opportunity to tell your brand story within the A+ content modules. So make sure you outline this, tell your story through there, and then, which leads me to my next part, your A+ content. Now, in my opinion, one of the secret weapons that really sets apart top Amazon sellers versus the average Amazon sellers is something that Amazon likes to call A+ content or enhanced brand content. Now, this is essentially going to replace your product description at the very bottom of your page. And the way that I want you to look at this is, again, visuals are going to tell more than words ever are going to. And in my opinion, your A+ content is going to be hands down the easiest way to do that. A+ content makes your Amazon listing literally pop. This is a premium feature that Amazon sellers get access to only if you have a trademark and your brand registered. And the sad part is a lot of people don't even want to take that step. They don't want to invest that extra $1,000 in order to get access to this. And that's why it's going to be your secret weapon. The way that I look at my A+ content is really like a mini website. Not only does it allow me to expand on my current product, but it also allows me to promote my other products as well. And you can get so creative here. There are so many different modules that you can choose from to really display your product to the best of its ability, more than your infographics ever will. And because not a lot of people take advantage of this, you might see 10 to 20% increases in your conversion rate, let alone. Like I mentioned, you can include your brand story directly in here, and they're gonna use this prime real estate to expand on your key features, more lifestyle photos of your ideal customer persona using the product, and even answering common questions that maybe you're seeing come across as reviews or messages within your inbox. The options are literally endless here, and it's a huge piece of real estate that you need to take advantage of. Now, from the product images that will catch people's attention and even stop them from scrolling, to the review strategies that will turn those browsers into buyers, each part of these things work together in a flywheel. And it's important that you take all 7 of these steps into your Amazon listing to really get the most out of it. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. After selling on Amazon for over 5 years, my entire team and myself and Eric have put together a very simple process to make this crazy idea become a reality. Now, we put together a free training. All you have to do is scroll down to the description and click the link. It's gonna make this as simple as possible for you. Now, from someone that has been through the ups and the downs of this business model and was still able to make it work and make it my full-time living, you sitting behind that screen is probably wondering, is Amazon still worth doing in 2024 and beyond? So I'm gonna leave a video on the screen here, give it a watch. It's gonna share my candid feedback on my experience, what we're doing now to still see success, and to hopefully close that information gap that you have so that you can take those first steps. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.